What's up everyone, your brother Pesh Kumar here, and despite making a lot of videos and answering a lot of your queries on my Instagram DMs, I still get asked this question very often that people are still confused कि pilot कैसे बने and what are the procedures, what are the steps to be followed. So I thought, why not make one single all-inclusive video that should try and answer all of your possible questions and should also list down all the steps you need to take to become a pilot in India. So let's get started. Strap yourselves in, this is gonna be a long video and this should answer pretty much all of your questions. In this video, I'll be talking to you guys about how to be a pilot in India. So that means you will be flying in India itself and you'll be doing your CPL the conventional way. I'll be making separate videos for the cadet program and if you want to fly abroad. So if you guys want to see those videos, do let me know in the comments below. Also, please do subscribe to the channel so I can continue bringing good quality aviation content to all of you. Thank you and let's begin. First things first, educational requirements. You need to be class 12th pass with maths and physics. So all the class 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th students who keep on messaging me, asking me, can we be a pilot? What all do we need to do to be a pilot? First of all of you need to clear your class 12th with maths and physics. Now the point here is if you've taken arts or commerce, you can still be a pilot. You have to clear maths and physics. It's a compulsion. Commerce ले रखा है या arts ले रखा है, you'll have to clear maths and physics from an open university. The most common university that people go to is NIUS. It is perfectly allowed and it is perfectly legal. It will not affect your career in any way in the future if you clear your exams from NIUS. All you require is passing marks in class 12th. You don't have to get 90%, you don't have to get 80%, you don't have to get 55%. I don't know why, but a lot of people think 55% is required to do your CPL. No, it is not. All you require is passing marks in class 12th and passing marks in maths and physics. Now some of you may have been doing a diploma. Now you might ask, diploma वाले pilot बन सकते हैं? Answer is yes. If your diploma university or if your college from where you're doing the diploma, if they can issue something known as an equivalency certificate. So it's a basically certificate which tells the DGCA that you are equivalent to class 12th or the diploma that you've done is equivalent to a class 12th from a normal CBSE board or an ICSE board. If your college can provide that, absolutely perfectly fine, you can still be a pilot. You do not need to give IIT JEE, you don't need to give mains, you don't have to have your graduation degree, you don't have to be a postgraduate. None of that is required. All that is needed is just class 12th pass. So the next thing after your class 12th or after your graduation or after your post-graduation, whenever you're ready to become a pilot, the next thing that you have to do is make sure that you're medically fit. That is done by clearing your medicals. So there are two medicals that you'll have to do. First, when you get started, you have to do something known as a class 2 medical. Links are in the description. You can speak to the doctors and they will help you out with your class 2 medicals. Please call up the doctors. In your medical, I can tell you some things. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the details. However, I can tell you a few things. The most common question is, are spectacles allowed? Yes, they are allowed. Your vision has to be 6x6 or your vision has to be absolutely perfect. Be it with spectacles or without spectacles, it does not matter. After you clear your class 2 medical, the next thing is a class 1 medical. Now a class 1 medical is done by the Air Force initially. It can also be done by a few private hospitals. Again, links for it on how it is to be done in the description. You can check it out. You will only start your aviation career after you make sure that you're medically fit, because it makes absolutely no sense to put in money and start your training and then eventually finding out that you are not even eligible to get a license, because a class 1 medical is a requirement to get a CPL license. However, the thing is, class 1 medical takes time. You don't get the dates very easily. So if you're class 2 medically fit, you can start off with at least your ground training, but make sure that before you go for your flying that your class 1 medical is cleared. So to recap, we cleared our class 12th with maths and physics, we secured passing marks, and then we did our class 2 medical. Class 1 medical may be done at a later date. Then the next step is to clear your DGCA exams. Now to get your CPL license, which is basically the license which allows you to fly an aircraft for commercial purposes. To get that license, you have to complete two requirements. One is your exams, so you have to clear some theoretical exams, and the second one is the practical requirement, which is basically the flying that you do. So first we will clear all our DGCA exams, and only then will we proceed for flying. If you want to know the reasons for that, I have a video, the link should be coming up here, and I have finally figured out कि link यहाँ पे ऊपर आता है. So the link should be here for that video. You can check it out. It will tell you why you should be clearing your exams first and then go for your flying. So to clear your DGCA exams, you will have to take ground classes. There are innumerous people who give ground classes, including myself. I have my own academy as well. I'm sure a lot of you already know. We know the Other Aviation Academy. You can go to any of these ground schools. I would suggest you take some reviews, ask people around, and then go to a nice place, because a lot of people don't have the knowledge and they'll still be teaching, and then you'll just end up wasting time as well as money. So then you start off with your ground classes and then you appear for your DGCA exams. Now before you appear for DGCA exams, you need to have something known as a computer number. This computer number is basically your something like a roll number with DGCA, with which you can appear for exams. So this computer number application process is again the link in the description. You can check that out. You have to register on DGCA website. You have to send them some physical documents. All of it will be in the description. You can check it out. So once you secure your computer number and once you've finished off your ground classes, you will have to appear for DGCA exams. These exams are a total of 5 in number. They are as follows: navigation, technical, meteorology, regulations, and technical specific. These 5 exams are conducted by DGCA. Exams are all multiple choice questions. They are done at DGCA centers. Exams are conducted every 3 months. So you have exams 4 times in 1 year. The passing percentage for these exams is 70%. All the questions are multiple choice questions. There is one more exam that you have to clear, and that is called RTR. Now it's an exam which is conducted by WPC. It's a government body and they conduct this exam every 2 months. So this exam is conducted 6 times every year. So all in all, we have a total of 6 exams, 5 by DGCA and 1 by WPC. Out of these exams, navigation and technical are vast. They are big subjects and I would personally recommend that you take ground classes for them. If you want, you can try and clear meteorology and regulations on your own. They're comparatively smaller. However, personally, if you ask me, I would recommend that you take classes for all the exams, because tomorrow when you go for an airline exam, your knowledge will be tested and you get proper knowledge when you're being taught properly. But then ultimately it's your choice. So you can appear for the DGCA exams n number of times. There is no limit on how many times you can give an exam. If you fail once, you can give it twice, thrice, as many times as you want. You have to clear the exams just once in your entire life. The exams are also valid for 5 years. So within 5 years of clearing your exams, you have to submit your papers to DGCA for the issuance of your commercial pilot license. So once we've cleared our exams with DGCA, we will now proceed to a flying school. When you go to a flying school, you will be issued initially with something known as a SPL, which is a student pilot license. This license is nowadays issued by the flying school itself. They will conduct a very small oral exam, and which is basically a formality because you've already cleared the DGCA exams, so you already have the knowledge. So you clear that SPL exam and you get your SPL license. This license allows you to fly those small training airplanes. Also, there's some paperwork to be done at a flying school. You can contact a flying school and they will guide you perfectly on what all paperwork is required. I will also put a list in the description of all the flying schools in India. Unfortunately, that list is not fully updated by DGCA as of now. However, you can still check that out. Majority of the flying schools on that list are still functioning and you can call them up. Now, when you go to the flying school, you have to fly for 200 hours. That's the requirement in India. Out of those 200 hours, 185 hours will be on a single engine aircraft, 15 hours will be on a multi-engine aircraft, then there are a few more hours which are done on a simulator. All in all, once you complete all these requirements, then the flying school will help you gather up all your documents. You will submit all those documents to the DGCA and then you will get your license. If you're wondering on which flying school to choose out of that list that I just gave you in the description, you can always check out my video. Again, the link will come up somewhere here and you can check out that video. In that I have told you how you can find out which is the best flying school for you in India or abroad, and that is how you will get your CPL license. I'll just quickly recap whatever I've said till now. First thing is class 12 with maths and physics, then you do your class 2 medical, then you do your ground classes and clear your DGC exams. In the meantime, you also do your class 1 medical. Once all of this is done, then you go and proceed to a flying school, and then you fly for 200 hours, and at the end of it submit your papers and get your CPL license. That's the basic overall procedure on conventional CPL from India. Now after you get your CPL license, which is issued by DGCA, once that license is received, you are now eligible to apply in airline vacancies. So now what you do is you sit at home, you study, you keep your knowledge updated, or you can prepare for something known as ATPL exams. ATPL is the next higher category of license. So first you got SPL license when you joined the flying school, then you got your CPL license after you completed your initial flying, and then finally the highest category of license is called ATPL license. It is required when you become a captain. So it comes at a very later stage, but you can already clear your exams because you're just sitting at home waiting. So after your CPL license, sit at home, study, work hard and gain knowledge, and you wait for airline vacancies to come. Airlines will always post their vacancies on the career section. So each airline has a website. Each website will have a career section. You can go there, and once you click, you will find all of the current vacancies. Please do not believe any touts. There's lots of people cheating in the market, lying to people. Do not fall for them. Only reliable source for vacancies is airline career section in the official website. From there you find out which vacancies are coming out, apply for those vacancies and go through the airline selection process. Now the airline selection process is different for each airline, so covering all of that in this one single video is pretty much impossible. However, that is at a very later stage, and right now honestly it wouldn't really matter. Also, there is a question of type rating. Now type rating is basically learning how to fly the bigger airplanes. When you do your CPL license, you learn how to fly the small aircrafts, a 2-seater or a 4-seater or a 6 or 8-seater. But airlines require you to fly the big airplanes. So type rating is learning how to fly those bigger aircrafts. To do your type rating, there are two options. One is either you can do it on your own after you get your CPL license. The other option is you first go through an airline selection process, and then the airline will tell you which aircraft to go on and where to go for your type rating. So either of these options can be chosen depending on the market conditions. Right now I can't tell you which is the favorable option because it depends solely on the market conditions at that point of time. Doing your type rating on your own has a few advantages and a few disadvantages. The advantages are you will get preference in airline selection. So whenever the airline comes out with vacancies, all the type rated people will be selected first and then the CPL holders will be selected. But the problem is, one, the cost, type rating is costly, and secondly, it's a ticking time bomb. Type rating expires, it has validities. Within 3 years, if you don't get a job, your type rating will be totally gone. You have to renew it every year or every 2 years or every 3 years, depending on however you choose. But it is a costly affair and it's a white elephant to maintain. So that's the disadvantage. The safest option is wait for vacancies to come, join an airline and then go for your type rating. And then finally, after getting selected with the airline, you will be sent for your type rating, or if you've already done it, you will be sent for your airline training. Now airline training is basically the airline will take care of it. They will teach you how to fly the aircraft, they'll teach you their own procedures, and at the end of the airline training you will be finally released as a first officer. All of this process, all of this has no defined time period. I can't tell you you will complete this in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's not in your hands and it's not exactly possible to define a time limit. I've seen people finish off the whole process in less than 2 years. I've also seen people who've waited for like 8, 9, 10 years. This depends upon a few factors such as when the vacancies come out, how quick you are with clearing your exams, how good your flying school was, and a lot of other factors. And now coming to the most important question of them all, how much does it cost? The most common question that I get. See, flying in India is a very variable thing. In the sense, there are flying schools where you can do your CPL for as little as 16 lakhs and you can go all the way up to about 40, 45, even 50 lakh rupees. So the cost is very varied, but on an average in today's scenario, as of 2020, your CPL will cost you somewhere close to about 35 lakh rupees, including everything, your stay and all. 35 lakh rupees is the amount that you should at least keep in your head. It might go plus or minus 5 lakhs, that depends. The next big cost is your type rating. Type rating, if you do it on your own, will cost you anywhere between 10 to 15 lakh rupees. And the third major cost is when you join an airline, nowadays you also have to pay for your airline training. Airline training is again a costly affair. The costs that airline will ask you for are varied. Indigo will ask you somewhere close to about 20 lakh rupees. SpiceJet will ask you somewhere close to 50 lakh rupees. But on the whole, on an average, going all the way from just a 12th pass or just a graduate to the cockpit of an airliner, all of this will cost you on an average of about 60 to 65 lakh rupees in today's date. Remember, these rates keep on changing and they're usually increasing with time. Now, as a disclaimer, all of these costs that I just told you, they're all as of now and they're all average costs. These can change with time, these can change with airline to airline, so please don't quote me on this. And lastly, I would like to answer some very common questions that I keep on getting. One is height, minimum height requirements. So as of now, DGCA does not specify any minimum height required to be a pilot. However, I have heard and I've seen airlines not hire people who are less than 152 centimeters, 152 centimeters. So it's a good idea to make sure that you're 152 centimeters or more. Another very common question is about weight. If you're overweight or underweight, it's not a problem unless it's like too much. And you will only get a recommendation on your medical which will tell you that you're recommended to gain weight or you're recommended to reduce weight. Otherwise, you will not fail your medical if you're slightly overweight or slightly underweight. Another common question that I get is that will good marks in my schooling or in my graduation or if a graduation degree will help me out in the future? Well, honestly, no. Airlines do not really care about how much you scored in your class 12th or how much you scored in class 10th or if you have a graduation degree or if you're a PhD or if you're an IITian. No one cares about that. You will not get any preference. Another common question is that I need to do a degree as a backup plan. Now that is not a bad idea, honestly. Doing a degree as a backup plan is a very good idea. However, I personally, it's my own personal view, you might differ on this, but I personally think that if you have a primary plan, which is being a pilot, and a secondary backup plan, you first work on the primary plan, first you become a pilot, and then you work on a backup plan. You don't go the other way around wherein you work on a secondary backup plan first and then you work on your primary plan. So I recommend that you first do your CPL, finish off, become a pilot, and then you get your graduation degree, which is something what I have also done. So if you guys have any more questions, please do feel free to drop them in the comments below. I will try and answer them soon. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it clears up some doubts. And if you like the video, do give it a thumbs up and please do share it with someone whom you think this video will help out. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.